Afternoon.
Hi Rafa. Can we start with your injury issues, if you have any? How are you looking, particularly at the fullback position after last week?
Yeah, Jelly has been training, so he's fine. Manquillo is better than we were expecting, but we have to assess him and a couple of players that they have little things tomorrow. Still, we have one training session, so we have to wait, but Jelly is fine.
You must have been...
At least I knew for Sarri.
Yeah. you must have been feeling the worst when that happened last week, because obviously you're a little bit light in the fullback option. Did you think this is just fate, this is typical when it happened?
To be fair, we had a meeting before to decide the squad, and then we were talking about Jelly, that maybe he could be in the squad, but it was a risk, and then we decided to go with Manquillo and Hayden as a backup. So then we lost Manquillo, and after we lost Hayden, so everything was against, but even the penalty at the end, but that is football.
You mentioned the penalty, how's Kennedy recovered? I spoke to a couple of the players earlier this week, and they say they've been rallying around him and trying to help him get over it.
Yeah, I think in terms of his quality, he's very confident. So we were talking about that and the decision that he was making during the game, and it's something that is important for a young player to understand, to learn, and then to move forward. So I think he's fine now, has been training well, but has been a bad experience, but a good experience in the end.
Is that Richie back on penalties then on Sunday?
You have penalties and Richie's on the pitch, we trust him, so he's quite good.
Just in terms of yourself, just to touch on it, have you had any contract talks since we last spoke to you?
No, we will wait, as you know, and then we can talk in the future about that. So my contract is not an issue. The issue now is, what I said when we finish the transfer window is, we have to concentrate on to improve the team as much as we can. So we have too many things that we have to fix because we were doing business a little bit late, and we need to do that as soon as possible. And we have very bad features at the beginning, so then we have to concentrate on that and then try to do our best.
None of the new signings, the permanent ones, the 5 that you brought in have started yet. Are we likely to maybe see one of them or 2 get a start on Sunday? It's
like probabilities. They are closer now because they are fitter. They are closer to a start. But I think that I was reading, I think it was Silva, talking about some of his new players. When you play the World Cup, some of them, or when they have been in other teams, has been injured, like some of them. So they will need some time. They are closer, so maybe tomorrow on Sunday we will see someone starting, but still they have to fight another training session, see how they are doing, and then we will decide.
Has that been quite an easy decision for you to kind of hold them back a little bit? Because sometimes when managers sign new players, they're desperate to get them into the starting lineup.
Yeah, it depends, but I don't want to say too much about that, but if you spend 100 million in a player, you are desperate to put him on the pitch. But when you manage players that you know that they are players with experience, that they can give you something, but there is not a 100 million players, then you have to be sure that they are fine and they can give a contribution to the team.
I think when we spoke last week, you mentioned both Lazar and Xavi, and it looked as though at least one of them could be gone. There's nothing being confirmed there. Can you bring us up to speed on that?
Yeah, Lazar is still around because in the end we didn't have time to do it with Genoa, and with Servet is getting closer, but still we have to wait for an official confirmation from everyone that everything is agreed. But obviously we are looking for a solution in Turkey, and then hopefully it will be done, but still we have to wait.
And just finally from me, in terms of Chelsea, they've won their first 2, so they look at a tough prospect with their new manager. Does it give you that confidence though that you've got a good record against them? And of course, one of the highlights of last season, the 3-0 on the last day.
Yeah, we are talking about one of the top sides, that they have a good manager. So I know Sarri well from his experience in Italy, and he's a good coach with very good players. So if we think about 2 years ago, they won the league. Last year, it was a good team that they have some problems, but now you can see everybody's happy. They have very, very good players. They are playing well, and then it will be very dangerous. And we know that. We have confidence that our fans behind the team can help, but we have to be sure that we approach the game with the right mentality, because it's not a question of we are very brave, and you can see some of the scores this weekend that you can be very brave, but still you can lose and you can be trashed in a game. So we have to be sure that the approach is right, with the idea that trying to win, but at the same time to have some control during the game. Cheers.
Rafa, we talked Kennedy's reaction, of course, to that Cardiff draw. How quickly did it take the other players to get over the disappointment like that?
Always you are disappointed when you think that you can win a game, and especially if it's the last minute and a penalty. But imagine that we pick another player to do the same, and he missed the penalty. We'll be talking about this one or the other one, but it still is the same situation. In the end, we lost 2 points that we had nearly there. Then you have to think we'll have another chance. Maybe next time I have to take the penalty in another way. Maybe the next time we have to score a couple of goals before and then don't go to the last minute trying to win. So I think that you have to learn quickly, and then you have to be ready for the next game to do the right things.
Is it after games like this, though, where there's a lot of ups and downs, where you really learn a little bit more about the character and the makeup of your team? Yeah,
obviously it's at the beginning of the season, so if you don't learn after 2 games, then something is wrong. Then we have to be sure that they understand what was wrong, and also what we did well, because we were quite positive in some things, but I didn't like the game. So I said after the game that I was not happy with the way that things were going on, and we had too many problems. But still, okay, we get 1 point. That could be more, could be less. In another situation, these games you can lose 1-0 in a corner. So then it's something that for the future we have to understand and learn quickly, and then be sure that the next time we make the right decision from the beginning.
Moving on to Chelsea, we've already talked about a good record so far in the last 7-8 years against Chelsea, but last season, of course, Newcastle had a good record against a lot of the top sides as well. Why is that? Why was the game raised up against the likes of Chelsea, Manchester United, Arsenal at St James' Park?
Yeah, sometimes it depends on the rival, the style of football, and then your motivation, if you can score an early goal, things like that. But the main thing for us, the main factor is the attitude of the players, the work rate, the approach, the mentality that they could challenge, they could compete with the fans behind. So it's a big lift. As soon as you score a goal against a top side, the fans they are supporting even more, and the players, they have more belief. But again, we're talking about the Premier League now, that the difference between teams is so big. They are spending a lot of money, bringing the best players in the world. So it's quite difficult to keep this intensity. And I say the last weekend you could see teams with a great intensity and still conceding a lot of goals. Why? Because the quality of the other teams is really, really good now. And then you have to find the balance. And the balance means that you have to try to win, but you have to try to win using the brain, not just the heart.
And Chelsea specifically, they haven't won at St James since 2011. In your experience as a manager, how much does a run like that play on the minds of players, if at all?
For example, I will give you an example of players. Kovacic, I don't think he will be worried about that. So players, they don't think about that. So we have to talk about this in the press conference, then you have to bring something, or you have some clips, some interview, but the reality is players, they think about the game. Who is there? So is Kante there? Was 5 years ago? No. Then Kovacic will say, oh, listen, I'm here, so I want to impress. That's it. He will not be thinking about the record. It's more for us and for the stats.
So entirely down to, of course, the performance of the players on Sunday, rather than any past results between these two sides.
For sure.
Talking Maurizio Sarri, we've talked about his experience in his past, but what have you made of his start so far at Chelsea? Is it everything that you thought it would be with him at Chelsea?
I think he's quite clever, and he said that he will need time, and it's true, because normally you need some time, but he knew about his team, he knew about the quality of his players, so I was expecting a good start from there. So hopefully, no this weekend, but I'm sure that they will do well, because they have a very good team, and he's a good coach.
That's great, thanks Rafa.
And Rafa, after doing so well last season and beating Chelsea on the last day, do you get the impression there's a little bit of a hangover with the players and they're not quite up to speed yet this season?
Yeah, it's always difficult at the beginning, but especially, as you say, when you finish well, you think that, maybe you think that you are better than you are. And the difference between 10th and 15th was just 2 points. So then we have to realize where we are, how we achieve what we achieved last year. And it's my message from the last year or the last 2 years. Stick together, keep working hard, and we will take our chances if we have chances to win games. But if we think that we are better than we are, we'll have problems.
How good, bearing in mind how Chelsea have done so far this season, is your defence going to have to be this weekend?
Yeah, the team has to be good, not just the defence. So because you can start defending with the striker, it's just to do the right movements, and if he's doing that, he's helping the midfielders or he's helping the defenders to do their job. So I think the team as a unit has to work in defence, and the team as a unit has to attack. So if you have a game plan, you have to stick with your game plan. If you have to change something during the game because it's not working, so that is my job, trying to find a solution. But at the beginning, you analyze the other team, you have a game plan, and starting with the striker, you have to defend really well. And obviously, the defender, they have to be more aware when you have Hazard, when you have Pedro, Morata, Williams, so anyone can change the game. So you have to be more concentrated than if you play against a normal player.
As you say, a lot of teams have brought in some very expensive players this season to strengthen their squad, so a lot of teams are stronger. Would you say that your team is also stronger this season?
Yeah, I said at the beginning, because it was one of the polemics, that we brought players to improve the squad. We will see if these players can improve the team. They have to play some of the new players and see if they are performing better than the other players, and that will be an improvement on the team. I think that we have improved the squad. We are short in a couple of positions, and we know because we were trying to find solution and we couldn't, but we are trying to maximize what we have. So the key in the Premier League is that there are so much money, and some teams that they are already established. They spend millions and millions in players. There are a couple of ways to improve. One is coaching. It takes some time, and the other one is buying what you need, and it's easier. Then it's just to give him his opportunity, and that's it. So we were talking about teams. Oh, I need to improve the right full-back position or the left full-back position. Then you spend 40, 50 millions in a player. You already improve the team. When you have to improve the team and you don't have this money, you have to coach the player, and that will need time. And sometimes it's not enough, because when you pay big money, normally you pay for quality. Even if you make mistakes, if you sign 3 players of 50 millions, at least 2 of them they will be fine. If you sign 3 players of 3 millions, you have more option that the 3 of them could be wrong. But then you have to coach them and maximize what they have, the potential that they have. That's it.
There is a section of the fans this weekend who are going to protest again outside Sports Direct, etc. They kind of did it last season at times as well. What would your message be to those fans?
My opinion, I have been for 2 months talking about what we have to do and why we have to do this, and which is the way to do it, based on my experience as a manager for years and years. And I said after the transfer window, when we finished the transfer window, I said we have to concentrate on that. But I have a lot of sympathy for our fans, because they are really good. They know the city, they know the club, they know the northeast, and how well you can stay here and you can live here. So they know all these things, and they know that they would like to see the team or the club doing things in one way. So what I will say is just be sure that when you go to the stadium, you support the team, because it's the only way for us to be stronger. And the other things, I have to respect them, and I have to concentrate on my job.
Thank you.
Cheers. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rafa.
Thank you very much.